welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, we will get details about the rest of the concert season for the Quincy Symphony Orchestra, including their show coming up this Sunday. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it is cloudy, 36 degrees right now. We've got rain on the way, probably in about an hour or so. It'll rain for most of the afternoon, then transition to some snow this evening as temperatures fall to around 30 degrees. Might have some freezing rain and sleet as well. Could have a couple inches of accumulation by tomorrow morning. And then for the rest of the day on Saturday, just a lot of flurries, maybe a snow shower or so, with highs tomorrow into the lower 30s. Generally dry for most of the day on Sunday with clouds, but watching a storm moving in Sunday night. And through most of the day on Monday, it'll have some wind with it as well as it passes by along the coast. And right now, forecast is calling for anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of accumulation by the time it winds down on Monday nights. Things will start to warm up a bit by the middle of next week. But in the meantime, it's this active winter weather pattern. 36 degrees, clouds in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says that he'll be asking the City Council to approve funding for new firefighter gear that does not contain any of those so-called forever chemicals. The mayor says the city is suing the company that sold the current firefighter gear that was supposed to be chemical-free. But he says in the meantime, firefighters need safe protective clothing.
To find out that the gear itself has cancer-causing agents in it, the forever chemicals, PFAS, is just unacceptable. So we are continuing to work through the legal side of things, but I don't want to wait another day. We will be requesting of the City Council an appropriation. I haven't got the final number yet, but somewhere between $2.5 and $3 million, which would buy every firefighter 2 sets of gears, along with the equipment that goes with it, the gloves, the boots, etc. And the whole point of 2 sets, as we talked about before, was they go in an incident and fire, etc. And this gives them the opportunity then to come back to the firehouse, throw that gear into the extractor, the washing machines, put the other gear on if needed for the next the next call.
Independent testing of the existing firefighter gear showed that it contained PFAS, or chemicals that can cause cancer. Interim Fire Chief Gary Smith has instituted a policy where firefighters only wear that gear if absolutely necessary to help minimize the exposure to those forever chemicals. Pending funding approval, the mayor says the new gear should arrive within 6 to 8 weeks. That gear was needed last Thursday when a fire did break out at 69 Taffrail Road in Germantown. This blaze erupted in a kitchen last Thursday afternoon. Now, firefighters confined the flames to the kitchen area of the home. All the occupants did escape safely. Chief Gary Smith credited firefighters for their quick response and also credited the city for maintaining firefighter staffing levels that he says helped to minimize the spread of fires and prevent significant losses. The cause of that fire remains under investigation. Special thank you to firefighters Tom Bowes and Steve Sweet for providing those photos for us. Well, a proposal for a second Taco Bell restaurant in Quincy is under review. DE Foods from Norwell is proposing to build a Taco Bell restaurant right in the parking lot of the Super Stop and Shop on Newport Avenue. The freestanding restaurant would also have a drive-up window. During an initial presentation to the planning board, the engineer for the project, Hussein Svensgill, says that a preliminary study indicates there would be minimal traffic impacts.
Typically, fast food, quick service restaurants are usually impulse trips. So it's pass by, you've probably heard that term in the past. Pass by traffic accounts for about 50 to 55%, depending on the peak hour. So new trips to the area for the Taco Bell during the PM peak hour, 40 total trips, so 20 in, 20 out, new trips. People that weren't in this area that are coming to the Taco Bell. Saturday is 34 trips. All the driveways currently and in the future with this development would operate at a level of C, level of service C or better.
Now, a more in-depth traffic study of the area is still needed. The developer proposes parking for customers and staff, improved landscaping, and improved stormwater management. One resident did express concern about parking, traffic, and flooding. The hearing was continued to April 8th. Ward 3 City Councilor Walter Hubley will be holding a neighborhood meeting about this proposal on February 24th at 6:30 p.m. at the Wollaston School. The Planning Board will make a recommendation. However, City Council has the final say on this project as it is zoned for planned unit development. This coming Sunday is the final day for the free skating rink at Kilroy Square in Quincy Center. The rink is open today from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and tomorrow and Sunday from noon to 8. Weather permitting, free skate rentals are also available, and visitors are asked to limit their ice time to 1 hour if it's crowded to give everybody time to enjoy the rink. The Quincy Recreation Department says the rink is open to everyone. They say it's been extremely popular this winter, especially this past week during February school vacation week. It may be winter outside, but spring has arrived inside the greenhouse at the Norfolk County House of Corrections in Dedham. Sheriff Pat McDermott shared some photos recently of inmates in their vocational unit that train with a horticultural instructor, preparing plants and planting seeds. The program is designed to teach inmates planting and gardening and farming skills that they may use once they complete their prison sentences. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, Quincy Symphony Orchestra has 3 more performances planned this season. We'll get the details next. Welcome back. We are pleased to welcome back to the program folks from the Quincy Symphony Orchestra to tell you about the remainder of their concert season. 3 more performances coming up between now and April, and the next one is this Sunday at Quincy High School. So our president, Brian Hickox, and conductor Yuichi Utagawa are in the house. Hey, guys.
Hi, Joe.
Hello, good morning. It's great
Happy
to
New
be
Year,
here.
actually.
Happy New Year. We haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, it has been a little while. Yeah, good to see you both.
Great to see you.
Yeah, as always. Right. Actually, I have folks Sunday all planned out for them already. So we have the Lunar New Year Festival at North Quincy High School. That starts at 11 in the morning. So folks can go there for a few hours. And go down the street up to Quincy High School for the 2:30 performance of your classical concert, right? Classical concert number 2.
That's right.
And after that, they go skating at the rink until 8 o'clock at night. So they're
They got a full day.
full day,
Full day.
all planned for them.
You
All-
are the Quincy concierge.
Brian, how's your season been going so far?
It's been fun.
Yeah.
We had a great opening classical concert with the Quincy Choral Society. We performed Brahms' German Requiem, and that was absolutely fabulous.
It went so well. Yeah.
It's quite a major work.
Is it?
And it's very emotional, as one would imagine with a Requiem. All that being said.
Yeah, and we had it was packed. We had a packed
Oh, that's good to
audience.
hear.
It was, yeah.
That's great to hear.
And working with the Quincy Choral Society was a thrill.
Yeah.
And Sarah Labrie is terrific.
She's super, isn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it was a good time, a great time was had by all.
Yeah. It's not this collaboration is relatively new between the Choral Society and the
Yes.
symphony, right, Yuichi? But,
Right,
But
right.
it really has worked out well. It's a
has
natural fit.
It has worked out well.
Yeah.
And we will be doing more outdoor Pops concerts for the city
Oh, great,
together.
great.
Yeah, I think we're going to do one in September.
Super. All right.
So
We'll
we're
be back
excited
way
about
before
that.
then to talk
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, I
Okay.
hope so.
Sure. But that's been a huge hit. I know.
Yeah,
It really
yeah,
has.
and it's been. I think audiences have loved it,
Have they? Yeah.
and the musicians have loved it. Right?
Is that true? Is that Brian? Is that true,
Yeah.
Brian?
It adds a nice flavor.
Yeah.
In instrumental music, we're so used to paying attention to the musicians who are playing in the string section, the wind section, but then there's that choral component that adds even a deeper, richer environment for us to perform in. So
Yeah.
we're really enjoying it.
And I would think that the same would be true for the folks in the Choral Society too, right? They're not used to having instrumentation,
Yeah.
So to have that addition, in addition to their voices, really adds another layer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they do occasionally, but it's. I think that collaboration is it's just been welcomed by both groups,
Yeah.
and we've really enjoyed it.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Then you had your "Tis the Season"
Yeah.
concert, right? That was
Always fun.
always a
Always
huge hit.
fun. And then also working with all the students and the teachers.
Yes.
And chorus there too.
Right.
Tim Carew does a wonderful job.
He certainly does.
Yeah.
The choral groups are absolutely
Yeah.
The
fabulous.
city is really fortunate
Yeah.
to have both the Choral
Yeah.
Society and the symphony as well, and the school musicians are really on par themselves as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the city and the mayor and the superintendent have,
Yeah.
have just been so kind of encouraging.
That's
and
great.
so we feel very fortunate.
Well, to that end, then, Brian, I don't know if you were during the mayor's State of the City address not too long ago. He mentioned creating a performing arts center in Quincy Center. He specifically mentioned the symphony as one possible organization to utilize that. So,
Yes, we've just begun to understand what that vision looks like,
Yeah.
and so we're getting into the meeting stages. We'll look forward to that, and he's asked for input, and so as recently as last night, I asked
we were
Yoichi to
oh,
put
yeah.
together his,
Yeah.
his Christmas wish list.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting, and I think that people don't realize the importance of civic areas
Yes.
where a community can come together, and having facilities like that is really there's a lot of benefit to it. So
He specifically mentioned, it could be for both professional performances,
Yes.
but also community
yeah,
groups like the
no,
symphony.
I think it'd be wonderful.
What's on the Yoichi wish list for the Performing Arts Center? If money were no object.
If money were no object, well, there are all kinds of considerations, like just the stage size,
Yes.
right? Making sure that it's big enough for orchestras to fit,
Sure.
or whoever you're going to be
There's
bringing
over 100
in.
members in the symphony,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and then the acoustics of the hall.
Yep.
Is it going to need microphones,
Right.
or will it be live enough for acoustic instruments to perform?
Yep.
Will it be flexible to do that? What's the size of the Performing Arts Center? Right. Sometimes it can get too big. Weirdly, right?
Interesting, yeah.
Especially for acoustic instruments.
I think he's talking about seating for between 1,000 and 1,500.
I think that's a perfect size.
You think so?
That's
Yeah.
that's a perfect
What's
size.
like Symphony Hall in Boston?
I think Symphony Hall is a little over 2,000.
It's about
okay.
2,000.
Yeah,
All right.
and that's, some modern halls are just gargantuan,
Sure.
and it's too big for orchestras.
It's like a stadium show at that
Yeah,
point, right?
right,
Yeah,
right. Then you need miking, and then you lose the kind of immediate acoustic
you'll
aspects
need,
of it.
big,
Yeah.
huge video screens
Right.
so folks in the back
Exactly.
can see it. Yeah.
and then there's funny things like storage, right?
Oh, okay.
And chairs and stands.
you don't think of,
You,
yeah.
you know, I mean, all these things have to be considered. Dressing rooms.
Warming up facilities.
Warming up facilities.
Rehearsal space,
Rehearsal
right?
space,
Yeah.
if possible.
Okay.
And then there's one other component, in that it's a community gathering
Yeah.
spot for receptions. If there's going to be a professional group coming on, or even the Quincy Symphony, we have our intermissions,
Yep.
and for a little snack or a little drink, things of that sort.
Sure.
So we many years ago performed outside the school for Pops concerts,
Yep.
and many of the attendees would enjoy a cheese and cracker plate at a Pops concert with a cocktail.
Sure.
And well, we don't do that in the schools,
Right.
but so this might be an opportunity for some gathering spot
Okay.
for people who are attending a performance.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear that the city is getting even on the ground level.
Well, and Yoichi brings up a lot of important points. The acoustics. I've seen so many halls that are built just to be built, not with the acoustics focus, and therefore remedies have to happen after the fact.
Yeah.
For example, it's too live and they have to put curtains
Yes.
or sound dampening. In other cases, it's too much and they have to change out material and chairs. Doing it right from the beginning is going to... I spoke last night with someone who played on Symphony Hall stage a number of years ago at a family concert, and without microphones, the symphony work was just completed and it rang throughout the hall, and there was a child up in the balcony that said, "Wow," and they could hear
Okay.
him on stage.
Okay. That's when you know they got it right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when you know they
Right,
got it. Well, it's designed specifically
Yeah.
for a symphony.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's not one size fits all.
Yeah,
It
so,
really has
wow.
to be tailored. Yeah, wow. Let's see if we can do the same thing.
No, it's very exciting, though.
I would think so.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Have
so.
members of the orchestra expressed excitement about it?
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't know that everybody knows about it yet.
No, it's
but
very
yeah,
much in the
yeah,
early
yeah,
stages.
It's
I
in the
know,
early
yeah.
stages,
Yeah.
but it's exciting.
Yeah.
Kudos to the mayor. he's certainly
Yeah.
put his stamp on the city here with so many projects, and you know, many people have vision, but to take that through to reality is admirable.
Absolutely.
But in the short term, you're still at the high schools, which is not such a bad thing.
No, and we love that too. And
Sure.
I mean, the facilities at both schools are very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've been with the Quincy Symphony. I don't know how many years now, but there has definitely been an upgrade
Yes.
in the schools.
It might be
Oh, yeah.
31 seasons.
Is that no? Is it? I don't know. Gosh, how could that be? I'm only 25.
You started when you were 10, Yuichi. You were a child prodigy, right? So a long time. So you've seen the progression. of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and there's clearly a progression.
Sure.
Yeah,
Which is
and-
nice. Including this coming Sunday at the Lloyd Hill Performing Arts Center at Quincy High School, classical concert Due.
Yes.
What's happening?
So we're doing two works, one by Robert Schumann, German composer, his Symphony No. 4. It's a beautiful romantic piece. And there's a kind of story, and Brahms, Schumann was a mentor of Brahms, right? And so that's why we put these two pieces together.
Fun.
And then after...
Student becomes teacher?
Yeah, or student becomes master.
Right, right.
Who knows? But
Interesting.
they had a very close relationship, and then there's also the added gossip that Brahms was in love with Schumann's wife. And,
Oh. Ooh.
and Schumann had tragedy. He unfortunately he jumped off a bridge and
Oh,
tried
my
to kill
goodness.
himself, and he died in an insane asylum, basically.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, but he was a great composer. I mean,
Mm.
you think people think, oh, classical music, that's so highbrow,
Right.
but there's just a lot of drama there too.
It sounds like it, yeah. Okay. Well,
And then Brahms wrote this incredible violin concerto, and our soloist is Lucy Lin
Yes.
of the Boston Symphony.
Yes.
And she is just, I mean, to say off the charts, right? I mean, the way she was playing last night, oh my gosh.
so
I
she's
mean,
rehearsed with you? And,
Yeah,
so
we've
you've
had-
worked with her before, right?
Many times,
Yeah.
yeah, and she's come to the Quincy Symphony a couple times before.
Yeah.
But jaw-dropping would be an understatement,
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And this one part of the concerto where she's just playing by herself, and it's just, we're all like, how can anyone do that?
Really?
Yes,
It must be so inspiring, Brian. I mean, you're a member of the orchestra. To see somebody perform at that level.
So that's the fun part when she gets to play by herself,
Yeah.
because we have our own parts while
Yes.
she's playing, and we're in tune, so to speak.
Sure.
But then there's other times when she has these cadences just playing by herself, and we get a chance to sit back and go, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a front row seats to.
Last night we felt like we were going to have to pinch Yoichi because we have to keep going. He was in such awe.
enthralled, but this is a world-class musician. we're talking
Absolutely.
about here, right?
Yes, that would be an understatement. I
Really?
mean, and really, no, and when you talk about someone like her, and a member of the Boston Symphony too, when you get to that level,
Yes.
you are just talking about the tiniest percentage of people in the world
The
that
elites.
play at that level.
Right, yeah.
And to have someone like her come and play with us
Yeah.
is really inspiring for all of us,
Yeah,
right?
I'm curious. Did you get a chance to talk to her about her experience with the symphony?
Oh, yeah.
What that's like
Yes.
compared to being with the Boston Symphony.
No, and she's but when she comes to us, she
Yeah.
gets to play the solo,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think she enjoys that.
Yeah, because she doesn't get that probably.
Yeah, no, she doesn't do that at the Boston Symphony, and although she could,
I'm
right?
sure.
And there's so many players in that orchestra that could,
Yeah.
because they're just such that high a
Yes,
level.
yeah.
I mean, it's how many people can play on the Patriots, right? How many people play on the Boston
No,
Symphony?
it's a good way to describe it.
How many
yeah.
people are on the Olympic team?
You've-
It's like that. I
Yeah.
mean, it is the top.
You've really
of
risen
that.
to the top.
Yeah, right.
Not just 1%, not just 1/10 of 1%,
Yeah,
but
y-
1/100th of 1%.
Yeah, you're really at that elite level.
She's the only one that could do that
Yeah.
at that level
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that class at this time.
Yes, yeah, I mean,
Right,
just super high,
Yeah.
and to top that off, she's just super nice.
Yeah.
And so humble and so easy to work with. And
Just as an example, last night, you talk about she plays with this world-class orchestra, one of the top 5 orchestras in the world.
Yes.
And then she's playing with us.
Yes.
Maybe the next tier down or two.
maybe one. Maybe one.
And here she was, so kind to point out our principal oboe solo that she very much enjoyed
Really?
playing
Yeah.
with.
Wow.
So that's
That made that musician feel pretty darn good.
I'm
at
sure
it.
Larry was very, I'm
Maury
sure
was,
was very, very happy about it. Yeah, yeah.
That's nice. That's really nice. Because she remembers she had to come up through the ranks, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously she has God-given talents, you know, certainly. But she has to practice those and rehearse those and
Absolutely.
maintain those skills, right? Yeah.
The people, you can't get to that level with. It's like watching those Olympic athletes,
Yep.
right? I mean, there's got to be an enormous amount of talent, but on top of that, there is just endless amount of work.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
To get to that level.
Exactly, yeah.
There was a book written by John Maxwell called Talent is Never Enough.
Yeah.
And it's putting in the hours,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
10,000 hours
yeah.
of practice.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just,
And you know, the master of it is making it look flawless and
Yes.
seamless and effortless, right?
Yeah.
That's how you master your craft, right?
that's Yuichi on the podium.
I'm sure. It just flows naturally.
He's smiling and you don't know how much is going on.
So it starts at 2:30, Lloyd Hill Performing Arts Center. It's free, but donations are appreciated, right,
Yes.
Brian?
We
Of
do
course.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Is there an intermission?
Yes, there
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Oh, and just a note,
Yep.
the Schumann is 4 movements, however, they're all connected.
Okay.
So that's right. So most symphonies, there's an amount of music and there's a silence, and then the next movement.
Yeah.
But this one, he was kind of innovating, was trying something out,
Oh.
and it's all connected.
Oh, okay.
So before we start the performance, we're going to take time to show people where the connections
That's
are.
what I love about a community
Yeah,
orchestra.
yeah,
because you
right.
teach. It's a teaching moment.
Yeah, and so you don't go sit there and go, well, when is this thing going to come to an end?
It's not.
Yeah, where are we? You know,
Right.
what's going on here? You know.
I think that's great. You know, 'cause it's an opportunity for folks to understand it that might not be exposed to this
Absolutely,
type of music.
yeah. Because I remember when I was listening to pieces like this when I was a kid. I didn't. It said there was 4 movements, but it was like, well, where are they?
They're all together.
Yeah, but if we're going to show them, this is where
Yes.
this one begins and the next one begins, the next one.
That's
begins.
great.
Yeah.
Very good. Maybe inspire the next Lucille Lynn. Who knows?
Yeah,
You never know who's in the audience, right? So that's this Sunday.
Yes.
But then, Brian, there's still 2 more performances after that, right?
Yes, March 22nd, we
Yes.
have the family concert, and we'd like you to come.
Yeah. Well, we need you to come. In fact, you're going to be there because we're doing a family concert.
Yes.
And you will be narrating.
Peter and the Wolf is
Peter
coming
and the
back.
Wolf,
We must
yay.
have been inundated with requests to have
Absolutely.
that narrator come back, right? Is that what happened?
And we love working with you. Yeah, and it's we were saying, when you're on performance, you get into performer mode. I mean, just like all performers.
The show must go on.
The show must go on.
I'm already practicing my quacks and my roars, and actually, I really enjoy
We like it when you do the bird.
It is a lot of fun to see the little kids really enjoy it. So I think it's a lot of fun.
So a couple of notes about that.
Yes.
We were originally scheduled for North Quincy High School at that, but that's going to shift to Central Middle School.
Okay.
So that's March 22nd,
Gotcha.
and the performance will be at 2:30. However, there's going to be an instrument petting zoo.
Which is actually my favorite part. Yes.
We'll get you to play the quack quack on the.
I tried the trombone last time and it didn't go so well. So I'm gonna try a string.
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. Yeah, it'll be easy. Just spend 10,000 hours on it.
So the petting zoo is 1:30 to 2:15, and it literally is what it says. Your musicians are out. I think it was in the cafeteria last time.
Yes.
With their instruments, and folks can use them, right?
That's
Try
right.
them out.
They get to see how it works because when you're in the audience, the sound is obvious, but not all the mechanical things.
Oh,
and
that's
how
how
many
that makes it,
strings
right.
does a violin have?
Yes,
and
yeah.
how does that stick make the noise?
Right, oh, there's a piece of bamboo in that clarinet. That's what you blow into, right? But you don't know unless you get an up close look at it. Yeah. And then the show is after that. That's a quick one.
Yes, it's a shorter. It's for families,
Yes.
and so I think it's about 45 minutes long or so.
Okay.
And we don't stand on ceremony there. The
Yeah.
kids can
Bring
be
your
kids.
bring your kids.
It's fine to
Yeah.
clap and cheer and
Absolutely.
quack along.
Absolutely.
And then you conclude with another classical concert on April 26th.
That's right. We'll be performing, and that will be at Quincy High School.
Okay.
We'll be performing Tchaikovsky's Sixth
Sixth
Symphony,
Symphony.
the Pathétique. Oh, excuse me, the Pastoral.
Yeah, Pathétique.
Is
You're
it
right.
Pathétique?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. And we do youth concerto competition, the Eleanor Nelson
Yes.
competition,
Yes.
and the young person who won it this year, remarkable young violinist. And so there's a lot of talent in the world, and we had, I think, about 10 people try out this year, and I think it was the best
Wow.
overall group we've ever
That's saying
had.
something.
And I've said this to you many times, and
yes.
we've said it both. The talent of the young people today is off the charts.
Humbling, right?
And it's very, it's really good news.
Yes.
It's good news.
For the future.
For the future.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, sometimes we get bad news. We hear bad news on the
It's
world,
true.
but if you there's a lot of good news in the world.
Come
too.
to a symphony concert.
Yes,
and you'll
yes,
get some
you'll see.
inspiration. QuincySymphonyOrchestra.com is your new website, so folks can go there. And
Yes,
get it
not
all.
.org,
Not-
.com.
.com.
Happy rest of the concert season, gentlemen.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Joe.
It's great to see you.
You too. You too. Forecast for the rest of the day today is kind of gloomy, unfortunately. We've got rain arriving soon, and it'll change over to snow tonight. Couple, 3 inches by tomorrow, then a little lull, and then look at Sunday. Some more storms move in Sunday night and into Monday. This one could be a little stronger. It's going to come with some wind and some blowing snow, so yay. It'll warm up by the middle of next week, we hope. Thanks again to Brian
Thank you
Hickok,
very much,
Shuichi
Joe.
Utagawa for stopping by. Thank
Thanks,
you to
Joe.
our crew. Thank you for watching. Monday here on the show, the Car Doctor, John Paul from AAA Northeast will be joining us. Meantime, check our website, qatv.org. All of our latest programs, news and information, there's video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great weekend.